the thing with John's Gospel, when you take your time to read it, to study it, you start realizing he keeps using the same words here. And so believe, I think 98 times through John's Gospel, believe, 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 and you work through it. So for example, end of John 2, where Jesus is at the temple and he's cleansing the temple, and it says many believed in him because of the signs that he did, but on his part Jesus did not entrust himself to them. That's the same word, believe and entrust. And then it kind of transitions into Nicodemus. He didn't entrust himself to them because he knew what was in a man. Now there was a man, and it goes on with the Nicodemus story, and you get these kind of weaving themes all the way through. So belief is a huge one, light and darkness, life and death, some of these contrasts, and just again, you don't just get them in a cluster, you get them weaving their way through. Glory is a huge theme in John's Gospel, and as you study glory in John, eventually you have to recognize, hang on, I started with the wrong view of glory here. This is not the glory that I thought it was, because ultimately the glory gets tied in and it's woven together with love. You go, hang on a minute, no, I thought glory was this kind of bright, shiny impressiveness, or this sort of gritted teeth dutifulness that we give God glory. And actually we discover that ultimately God's glory is not Jesus returning to heaven, it's Jesus being exalted on the cross. And so even there, I mean, just every theme you kind of pick at, you pull a thread and it comes through the entire book, and it brings other threads with it. And so the high and lifted up, Jesus is lifted up at John 3, John 8, John 12, and at John 12 it culminates with that glory theme, which ties into the laying down your life and death theme, and then John 13, Judas Iscariot leaves the room to go and do what he's going to do, and it says, Jesus says, now is the Son of Man glorified. And so all this anticipation has been building, and it's completely wrapped up in his death and his passion. And so it's just there's an intricacy to the weaving of John's Gospel that is really profoundly, it's just attractive. You know, it draws you in. It's so simple. He's not piling on new words. He just keeps weaving the same ones together. And yet as it progresses, you get a clearer and clearer understanding of what he's saying. And I've only scratched the surface. There are so many themes that we could trace through John.